They say never go into business with friends or family. But some of the biggest companies in the world, Apple, Ben and Jerry's, Warner Bros., started exactly that way. Two people, one idea, and a relationship that either became their greatest strength or their most expensive mistake. So, what actually separates the partnerships that thrive from the ones that quietly end friendships forever? It usually starts the same way: a late night conversation, a whiteboard covered in half finished ideas, and the person sitting across from you, someone you already trust with your life, not just your career, says four words that change everything. Let's actually do this. No contracts yet. No official titles. No org chart. Just two people who believe in something bigger than either of them could build alone. And in that moment, it feels unstoppable. There's real magic in starting a business with someone you already know. Because building something from nothing is brutally hard. And having a partner who already understands your strengths, your blind spots, even your bad habits, isn't a weakness. It's an advantage most founders would kill for. You don't have to build trust from scratch. You already have years of it. You don't have to explain your why. They watched it happen. When the first customer says no, when the bank account hits zero, when the whole idea feels like it might fall apart at 2 a.m. That shared history is what keeps two people in the room instead of walking away. That head start is exactly why so many great companies were built by people who knew each other long before they knew business. But here's what nobody tells you in the beginning. The same closeness that makes the partnership powerful is exactly what makes it fragile. Money changes conversations that used to be easy. Titles change dynamics that used to feel equal. And decisions that once took 5 minutes over coffee, who's in charge, who gets paid what, whose vision wins when you disagree, suddenly carry a weight they never carried before. Because now it's not just a business decision, it's personal, and it's happening between two people who love each other and don't yet have the language for a disagreement that isn't a fight. Look closely at the partnerships that fall apart, and you'll usually find the same story. Not a market crash, not a bad product, but an assumption that was never actually said out loud. I thought you understood I'd be the one making final calls. I thought we agreed this was a 50-50 decision. I didn't realize you expected this to be a full-time job for me too. None of these are betrayals. They're just conversations that got skipped. Because when you love someone, it feels awkward to ask, what happens to us if this fails? But that awkward conversation, avoided early, becomes the resentment that ends both the business and the relationship years later. The partnerships that last do one thing differently. They treat the relationship itself as an asset, something to protect on purpose, not something to assume will survive by default. That means clear roles, written down, even when it feels unnecessary. It means agreeing early on how disagreements get resolved before there's ever a real one. It means regular, honest check-ins that aren't just about the business, but about each other, about whether this is still working, about whether the partnership still feels fair. It's not romantic. It's not the part anyone daydreams about at 2 a.m. But it's the difference between a business that survives its first real crisis and one that doesn't. Because here's the truth most successful partners will eventually tell you. The business is temporary. Markets shift, companies get sold, or shut down, or become something unrecognizable in 10 years. But the relationship, the friendship, the family bond, that's the thing you actually have to protect. That's the thing that outlasts the company either way. The founders who understand that early build businesses that last longer. Precisely because they never let the business become more important than the people building it. So if you're thinking about building something with someone you love, go for it. Some of the best things ever built started exactly that way. Just remember, the strongest partnerships aren't the ones without conflict. They're the ones who decided from day one that the relationship comes first and built the business to protect it, not the other way around. If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe. We're telling more stories like this every week.